Okay, let's just have a little bit of a look between Facebook and radio advertising. Take an example. Let's assume I own a dental practice in Cheltenham. Let's assume that I'm quite interested in building the number of Invisalign cases that I do. Now, I've looked at the number of cases that I've done in the last few years, and I've noticed that I get quite a lot of cases that are women between the ages of 35 and 55 who are single. I've got other cases as well, but there does seem to be quite a few of those sorts of cases that I do. And the best marketing does seem to be word of mouth. Okay, so this is just an illustration. Now, if I go to my local commercial radio station, which is Heart FM, they tell me that their reach is 28% and that they get about 9.5 hours per week of their listeners within the 28% of the population. So I know from government statistics, because I can go to the government website, that the population between 35 and 55 that are female is just short of 15,000. So the radio is going to get me about 4,000 of my target group. Okay, so let's click over to Facebook and have a look at what we can find in Facebook. If I put in, narrow my search down to Cheltenham, and I say I'm looking for people, let's say, within 10 miles of Cheltenham, and women between the ages of 35 to 55. It tells me that there are 10,000. Okay. And of those, the ones that have classified themselves as single is about 10%. So within that age group, let's say it's about 10% that are single. Okay, but with Facebook, I'm very specifically able to target people who are very specifically in this age group, in this geography, and not only are single, but have actually declared themselves single on Facebook, because although you have to put your age in and you have to put your gender in, you don't have to say what your relationship status is. So these people definitely know that they are single and are prepared to say so. Okay, let's compare the two. So radio is going to get me about 15,000 population, of which my target population is something in the region of 4,000 who are tuned in for about 9.5 hours. If Facebook, total population of that age group is about 10,000, females we're about 5,000, so slightly more than radio, who we know from the statistics all spend about 45 minutes on Facebook per week. Of these single women, I know very precisely on Facebook that takes it down to about 1,280. So taking the same statistics and a bit of a guess of the radio population, we're at about 415 of the radio audience. So Facebook is probably going to get me something like 3 times the number of the audience of radio advertising. Okay, so let's have a look at the costs. Well, the production cost for radio ads about £300. The radio sales exec explains that I really need to spend about £800 a week on a schedule that runs over about a month, so that's about £3,500 that I need to spend on the radio campaign. Not especially measurable. I can ask people when they walk in or when they contact my practice, did they hear the advert on the radio, but I'm really not measuring that very well. Whereas with Facebook, production cost is zero. I'm going to set a daily budget of about £20 for this and see how I get on. So my monthly budget is limited to 560. Now, if I get a lot of click-throughs and I get some great success coming from this, I can just increase my Facebook budget. If I'm not happy with it, I can reduce it down. I can play with the advertisement. So in Facebook, I can actually set the ads to be either pay per click, so every time somebody clicks on the ad is the only time I incur cost, boy, I wish that was the case in radio, and boy, I wish that was the case in newspaper advertising. Or I can pay per 1,000 impressions, which is similar to sort of a broadcast style advertising. So here's my strategy. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put an advert out there on Facebook. I'm going to trial it. I'm going to try and talk to that very tightly targeted group of females 35 to 55 who are single. Okay, and I'm trying to enter the conversation that's going on inside their head. So I'm going to try some different copy. I just put this into as an experiment, something that looks a little bit like this. If they click on it, we're going to go through to a landing page. The landing page is going to say, hey, claim your free consultation on my limited space open evening. It's on a particular date. Space are filling up quick. You have to click like to get to fill in the application form. They're going to click like and get through to the application form. As soon as they click like, 130 of their friends are going to be notified that they've clicked like. The second page of my landing page is going to say, great, give me your email address and I'll send you the coupon. So they type in their email address, press send, and bingo, they get the coupon and I get the email address. So I've started to build my list, and my email marketing system can now take over.